thrust and when to snap your kicks. Snapping a kick is more like smacking someone. Thrusting your kick is more like a punch, giving a punch to someone. So when you snap the kick, you're going to snap it out like when you snap your fingers in a fast snapping motion. And when you thrust the kick, the punching motion, you push it forward into the opponent. So remember, on the snap, you're coming in a smacking motion. In the thrust, it's more like a punching motion forward into the opponent. And snap and thrust can be done off of either leg. Okay, now we're going to get into the actual kicking techniques. Before we do that, I want you guys to make sure that every time you throw a kick, regardless of what kick it is, you always want to make sure that your hands stay up and your elbows stay in. One, it ensures the proper technique to come off correctly, and two, it's a natural defense for you. So it's no guarantee that the kick is always going to land. In this way, you have your hands up to ready to follow up or to defend your against your opponent. Okay, now our first basic kick is going to be the front kick. Front kick is a vital kick. When an opponent comes at you, you can strike straight down the center line. You can also strike in the lower areas as well as the side target areas, but it's primarily used for a front on target. Okay, the first kick is the front snap kick, just like snapping your fingers. You bring your knee up to the chamber position, snap it out, bring it back, and set it down to your comfortable fighting stance. It's important to make sure that after you kick, you don't put your feet together or too far apart, because what's going to happen is it's going to leave you without being able to kick again. So you want to stay in your comfortable fighting position, hands stay up, bring your chamber up, smack it out, bring it back, then set it down. Okay, now I'm going to show you 3 examples from 3 different angles. The next part of a front kick is the front thrust kick. Again, you can use it off either leg, but for beginner purposes, snap should come off the front and the thrust should come off the back, okay? Again, you can use snap on either leg and thrust on either leg, but for beginner purposes, make sure that the snap comes off the front and the thrust comes off the back. When you're doing your thrust kick, you want to make sure that you're opening up, pivoting that front foot. This allows the hip motion to move forward. You bring your chamber up, pull your toes back to ensure that you do not kick the target with your toes. At this point, you can either kick with the ball of your foot or the heel of your foot, the bottom heel. Again, watch from here. You open, this is called your pivot. Your knee comes up, you point it at your target. This is your scope. Wherever your knee goes, that's where your kick will follow. So when you extend with the ball of the foot, pull it back, set it all the way in the back. Fast motion, bring it back. Now I'm going to show you that kick from 3 different angles.
Do you remember?
You can kick with your toes, or you can kick with the heel at that point. It's almost impossible to pull back to kick with the ball. Kick equally well off of both legs, because you never know which leg will be required for kicking. Okay, so the right leg is going to do side thrust kick. Okay, now, traditionally in a taekwondo form or a traditional style, hard style form, side kick is one of the trademark kicks that everybody looks for. Such greats like John Chung, they had straight up side kicks, which everybody called the 12 o'clock kick. Okay, so watch my version of my side kick. One more time.
Get down. Maybe we can get together, turn this party out. Move your body like a snake, like that. Shake it till it won't break, like that. Don't go back, let it go now, like that. Let your money make a champion, like that.
You can rake the person's, like say you're kicking them in the shin, you could actually rake the bottom of their the front of their shin by kicking with the flat part of the heel and pulling down. You also want to make sure that you can hit more with the heel and the blade of the foot with the shoe. Now in class, when you have no shoes on, you make sure that you kick with the bottom part of your foot or the blade. But when you're kicking with the blade, be careful for injury. Next thing I'm going to show you is a famous TV or movie kick. It's called the round kick. You may have seen Jean-Claude Van Damme do it in several of his movies. Actually, it's like one of his trademark kicks in all of his movies. Okay, the first thing you want to do, the snap round kick comes off the front leg. You make sure as you bring the knee up for the chamber for the kick that you pivot on the back foot, again, to get the proper hip rotation, to avoid injuries and to get the maximum power into the kick. So you bring the chamber up, point your knee at the target, extend it out, pull it back, set it down. Fast motion when you bring it up, snap, bring it back. It's just like winding up a towel and smacking it at someone, or taking your elbow, pulling it in tight, and smacking out almost like a back fist motion, but with your leg. Bring it up, chamber, kick, set it down. Now the round thrust kick comes off the back leg. That's also a popular Olympic style kicking technique. You want to make sure that you pivot on the front foot all the way, again, to avoid injuries and to allow maximum power to come from the kick. Bring your knee up, chamber, extend it out, bring it back, set it down. Again, make sure you pivot as much as possible, snap, bring it back, and set it down. Now you remember the side kick was more of the punching motion that we were talking about earlier. The round kick is more of the smacking motion that we are now demonstrating. Board breaking also is a very powerful tool when fighting, and as well is very popular in the USTU Taekwondo Olympic style fighting as well. When you hook kick, it's very similar to the side kick. You bring the chamber up in the same motion, okay, from here, going to the side. A lot of people, when they do hook kick, they're not fully turning over their body, and they end up hooking it almost like a crescent kick. You want to make sure that you fully turn your body in the motion of a side kick, extend it out 45 degrees, pull it across, all the way back to the chamber like a round kick, okay? One more time. You bring it up, beginning chamber is like a side kick, you extend it out 45 degrees, pull it all the way around like a round kick, chamber, and then set it down. Now when you pull it around, sparring purposes, if you're working with an opponent that is a friend or a classmate, you make sure you point your toes in this manner. If you're using it for board breaking, or you really want to do impact on an opponent, use the back of your heel or the bottom part of your heel in this fashion. Okay, so fast motion, the snap hook kick off the front leg, or also a lead leg hook kick. Okay, and again, make sure the kick comes straight across, not down on the angle for maximum impact. Again, coming off the back leg, just like the side kick motion. So once again, you must pivot the foot for maximum hip potential, power, and safety. Okay, so you bring the kick around, chamber it like a side kick. Again, send it out 45, hook it across all the way back. Fast motion. Again, make sure you either point the toes to get the smashing effect, if it's for safety purposes like a classmate opponent. If it is an assailant or opponent that is trying to do you harm, you want to make sure that you use the heel or also for board breaking. Just like it sounds, like an axe, like a woodsman chopping wood coming straight down over top of the opponent's body, okay? To get the best effect from an axe kick, you really want to stretch out your leg, pull it up as high as you can, and use your hip muscles to pull down on the kick. You also must pivot that kick. Even though we're not turning our hips completely over, to get the hips to move forward,